Hi, it's Bex from the Wide Boot Company, and this is part 2 of my testing out of Hempine CBD for my semi-retired thoroughbred ex-racehorse Atia. So yeah, hope you enjoy. Take 2 of Atia and Sophie doing the working equitation course on the slippery field. So as you can see here in this recap video, this is before she started on the Hempine. The ground was quite hard because it was very frozen and she is just struggling a little bit. You can see she's quite stiff in her hocks and her front white foot especially. You can also see she's not very happy to rein back. She's quite stiff and yeah, just a bit unwilling, but yeah, she's not comfortable. And again, on this sort of slightly tighter figure of 8 around the markers, she's definitely looking quite stiff behind, just stiff generally. And yeah, that white front foot, she's just a bit tentative on it all the time. She's not like fully lame, but just, yeah, you can tell she's not quite right. Oh, she's off. So my friend kindly lent me her arena so we could just take Atia over to do an assessment. And I have to say I was really quite shocked at how well she was moving here. Obviously the difference in surface helps, but she just looks so much freer in her hind legs. And considering at this point she'd only been on the Hempine for a few days, and this is before her Arthritis injection, she looks great. Sit, leg on, keep your leg on. Also, considering she hasn't been in a school on a tight circle for, you know, since before she had her foal. Her foal is nearly 2 now. So this is the first time in an arena for a long time for her. And, you know, I'm just really pleased with the difference. So we then took Atia back to the vets. This is a week after she had her Arthritis, so the vet could do an assessment under saddle, and she was still on the Hempine as well. He was very pleased and said for me to keep her on it because it was clearly making a good difference to her hocks in particular. I was also very pleased as the lovely young lady that kindly rode her for the assessment because Sophie couldn't make the appointment. I did chat to her afterwards and she said she felt very forward going and was happy to go forwards. You know, it's always difficult when you can't ride your own horse to assess them and see how they feel compared to how they used to, but yeah, it's nice to have an experienced rider on her to give me a really good, clear assessment. So if you watched part 1 of the vlog, you will have seen me comment about the fact that Atia was getting very sweaty since we started her on Hempine, but thankfully that seems to have been a side effect that's gone away now, so we're not getting the sweatiness, and you'll see in a minute in the next clip she's not sweating up at all. She's back to her normal self, which is great. So it's the day after the vet's ridden assessment, a week on from her Arthritis injection. So she's had a bigger scoop of her cannabis-y stuff, the CBD Hempine, and so she had a bigger scoop of that last night and this morning, and she's gone out and she had a really quite good trot on the harder ground where we were struggling a few weeks ago. So yeah, quite pleased with that. So we're just going to keep going as we're going, and I will up the dose of the Hempine when we know we're hacking or riding, and then just keep her on a sort of bit more of a maintenance dose between times when Sophie's not riding her. So yeah, and also I've noticed this sweatiness problem that we were getting. She's definitely not as bad now, so I don't know whether that's something that has, you know, now that she's adjusted to it with her system a bit more, that it stopped. She's definitely not as sweaty, so that's good, because it was a little bit annoying that she was getting sweaty just from a very sort of basic hack out. But yeah, so all good. We're going to keep going on the same program, aren't we, Atia? Yes, you're a good girl. So this was a few days later, and she is schooling in the field without her hoof boots on. So I can't believe how well she's moving here, considering she's not in her hoof boots. The ground is less than perfect. She's moving well enough that we even put a little trot pole out for her to have a go over, which she really enjoyed. It makes me quite emotional looking at that, actually. She's looking so good. So I just thought I'd show you the dosage that I'm using now. So this is the tub as it comes, and what I've been using is this little blue scoop that came with an older supplement that I have for my other horse. So one of these scoops I think is about 2 tablespoons, and when I first started her on it I built up over a couple of days, but I worked up to one of these scoops in the morning and one of these scoops in the evening in her feed, so she was getting 2 scoops a day, and that was obviously more than enough. She was doing really well, and so because of that I've now adjusted the dosage, just so that I can sort of make the product last longer, really. So and you know, she's perfectly sound in the field, just for, you know, dawdling around and eating and stuff. It's only really for the ridden work that she needs this. So I've just been giving her about half a scoop, so that's about a tablespoon, maybe half to 2/3 of a scoop. I give her that on the days that she's not ridden, twice a day, and then on the days that I know Sophie's going to come, I give her a full scoop in the night before, and on the morning before she's ridden she gets that in her feed as well. So that seems to be keeping her very comfortable, and you know, it's just kind of a way of getting the most out of the product for my money. I mean, I do think, having trialled it now, compared to the cost of vet injections and all the rest of it, it's actually very affordable compared to the cost of the Arthrimid or all the other options, and the all over effects that I've seen. You know, obviously I can't afford to inject every single joint that she has, so her hocks, for example, we definitely have some arthritis going on in there. She has had one hock injected with steroid in the past, but you know, on this she doesn't need the hock injections because it's making her so comfortable. She doesn't need it, and the only reason I did the Arthrimid in that one particular front joint is because she has got an old injury with that bursa that she had it about 4 or 5 years ago. So that one joint is particularly bad, we know that from the old x-rays. So but yeah, if it wasn't for that I would have just kept her on the Hempine, because this has made such a difference to her overall movement. She's so much happier, and she's been kind of galloping around the field and trotting in, whereas she used to sort of shuffle in for her breakfast, and you know, now she's really kind of quite sparky. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to show you what it looks like. It does have quite a strong smell, but she seems to not mind it at all mixed into her feed. It's quite a sort of herbal smell. So yeah, that's what it looks like, and yeah, that's what dosage we're using. She's a 15-1 thoroughbred, and she weighs about 475 kilos. So yeah, that's what we're doing. You are very dirty. You are very dirty. Hello, Elsie. Who's a handsome boy? Who's a handsome, beautiful boy? Look at the difference in her. Very different. Was she grumpy about the hair?
Only like a tiny amount on her right side, but like this side didn't do. That's good.
Good.
Is the girth definitely in the right sort of angle? I was worried like if I'm sitting it too forward or too far back.
It usually will adapt itself. So look, she's sitting on the left foot, which means she's really comfortable on the front foot. She wouldn't rest behind the foot. She wouldn't have you prefer full weight on the front too. You happy, Atia? Right, ready to put on the camera. So yeah, I left that random recording in because I think it shows a really true reaction of how pleased I am with how she's doing, actually. So we've just had a sedate canter up the hill. I had to block Atia in a few times because she wanted to try and get past Elf. So she's obviously feeling pretty up for it. Aren't you? You good girl. I wasn't quite brave enough to try and hold the hammer and film at the same time as cantering with one hand, because we haven't been up here for a while because of Atia not being 100%, but now that she's feeling well again, Yeah, so Elf hasn't actually been up here for a while either and finds it quite exciting cantering up the hill sometimes. So yes, both hands required, but yeah, good ponies. Yeah, so that's the end of my sort of before and after part of the vlog. So yeah, as you can see, the Hempine is working absolutely amazingly for her. I really can't say enough good things about this product. You know, the vet asked me to keep her on it ongoing because he could see the benefit for her. So yeah, I mean, obviously we had the arthrimid into that one foot because of that very specific injury. She has had a lot of trauma on that foot, and it's definitely got some more underlying problems. We didn't x-ray because I couldn't afford to x-ray on top of the cost of the injections and everything, but we are fairly sure that there's definitely some advanced arthritis in that particular joint, and also possibly he thinks there could be some navicular issues going on. So yeah, but she is obviously really happy at the moment. Another thing I found that makes me think she's definitely much happier, she's not as girthy, so she definitely had an ulcer flare up after she had her abscess in December and had her couple of days of being in. She was very, very witchy about having the girth done up for a couple of months after that. So as you could see on that pocket recording where I recorded by mistake, Sophie and I discussing how she was when she tacked her up. She is not being grouchy now with the girth. And the other massive difference I've noticed is that she has not been very affectionate with me for a long time. And, you know, I kind of put it down to me having my other new horse and her being a bit jealous and me not riding her anymore because I'm too heavy for her. But actually, I just wonder if she's had this low-grade pain for quite a long time. And she's a different horse. She's coming up to me, she wants cuddles, she's rolling a lot more. I'm checking the field cam and I'm seeing that she's lying down and sleeping a lot more as well, which is not something she's ever really done. So I just wonder if she was finding it difficult to, you know, get up after she'd been laid down for a while. And she just seems in herself much brighter, and a little bit of her cheeky old self has come back, which is just so nice to see. So she's definitely feeling the benefit. You can see in her hocks the difference in the movement from before starting the Hempine and afterwards. And as I say, she only had that one coffin joint injected with the arthrimid, but nothing else because I couldn't afford to. So yeah, I think the results really speak for themselves. I'm hugely, you know, I can't vouch for the product enough, and if you are watching this and you would like to try it for your own horse, I do have a discount code which I will put on the screen. Please do try it. I think if you've got an older horse or something with kind of, you know, low grade pain that you can't quite get to the bottom of, or, you know, older injuries that are just, they're on the sort of downhill road to the end, but you want to try and keep them going and keep them comfy, this is definitely a great product for you. Obviously it's not competition legal, so you know you can have them on it and you can use a withdrawal period. I think it's 7 to 10 days to make sure it's out of their system before you compete, so that is a possibility. But for us, we're not really, you know, we're past the competing stage, but I wanted to just enjoy having a nice, you know, retirement, semi-retirement, hacking, having fun with Sophie, doing some low-level lessons, and she's really enjoying it, so I'm so happy. Yeah, please do try it. I can't vouch for it enough. If you've got any questions, just contact Jo at Hempine. She's ever so helpful and she's got loads of testimonials. I really hope you enjoyed the vlog. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to be notified of more videos.